is Erin Quinn, and I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I teach at a K-9 public school. I teach grade 8 language arts and social studies, but last year I taught grade 7. So last year we had this big challenge that we had to address. I was hired to help open a brand new school. We're housed in 4 different schools from September until April, when the school was finally ready to open. I couldn't have us design our space, but what I could have us do was design those routines and structures and processes that could impact our classroom culture. So I turned to design thinking and the Innovators Compass to help us do this. At the beginning of the year, my grade 7 students and I spent a lot of time reading articles and watching videos and gathering inspiration about different places, businesses, organizations, and people who had built places where creativity really thrived. And after we'd spent a bit of time kind of immersing ourselves in that, we needed to kind of tease out the things that helped create the conditions for creativity to thrive. So we used the Innovators Compass to help us do this. First, we identified the humans that would be impacted, which were my students and myself, as well as the other teachers who used the spaces that we were temporarily housed in. And then I took the students over in small groups, and I facilitated a discussion where we put a big Innovators Compass up on the wall, and we used Post-its to kind of record our discussion. And what we were really trying to get at through the Innovators Compass was, what did these organizations and groups do and what did they design that were not physical spaces? The other thing we were looking at were problems that were arising within our classroom already that we wanted to address with our solutions. Once we did that, we used other design thinking methods to help us prototype and build ideas that could help us build that classroom where everyone belonged and felt valued and trusted one another so that we could be creative. I think what was really interesting about the compass, where it led us, was that it really helped us pick out the pieces of a culture that were not about things and were more about a way of being. And the prototypes that they developed, that the students developed as a result of that, were more applicable in our context and were more interesting, I think, because of it. I think had we used traditional design thinking tools, I think that the ideas the students would have come up with would have been much more focused on the physical side of things. But we got some neat ideas and really simple things like one group came up with a positivity tree that they would post messages of positive messages for their classmates. And another group came up with a chart where the student's job was to have a conversation with each student in the class over the course of a month and track those conversations, so to build connections between them. So that was one of the times that I used the compass and one of the stories I have to tell. You can find me on Twitter at Lucky by Design.